Every year, millions of dogs are surrendered to shelters for behavioral problems that were never behavioral problems at all. They were conversations nobody knew how to hear. A dog that turned away was called stubborn. A dog that brought a toy was called manipulative. A dog who rolled onto their back was called dramatic. All of them were saying the same thing, in the only language evolution gave them. We are going to tell you 10 surprising ways your dog is apologizing, ranked from the gentlest whisper to the most urgent cry. Number 10. The helicopter tail that suddenly goes quiet. This one is so subtle that most people miss it entirely, and that is exactly why it earns the last spot on this list. You walk into the room after a disagreement, and your dog greets you the way they always do, tail moving, body wiggling, but something is just slightly off. The wag is lower than normal, slower, a little cautious, as though your dog is asking a question with their tail rather than making a statement. What you are watching, according to research from the University of Trento, is your dog broadcasting their emotional state through a neurological display you were never taught to read. A high, fast, stiff wag signals excitement and high arousal, but a low, sweeping, careful wag signals something entirely different. Scientists studying tail lateralization found that this kind of low, tentative wag reflects activation of the right hemisphere, the side of the brain associated with cautious, socially careful behavior. Your dog is not less happy to see you in this moment. They are more aware, more attuned, and more desperate for the signal from you that everything is okay. And sometimes, before they even get to the wag, they have already started preparing their apology from the other room. Number 9. The gift they bring you. Have you noticed the moment when you have raised your voice and your dog is trotting toward you, holding their favorite stuffed animal in their mouth, looking at you with those enormous, sincere eyes? Your first thought is that the timing is terrible. Your second thought should be that this is one of the most touching things they will ever do. Your dog is handing you the most valuable thing they own, and holding it in their mouth simultaneously forces nasal breathing, which begins calming their own nervous system. One gesture doing two enormous things at once, an apology and a self-rescue, wrapped in a slightly damp stuffed hedgehog. But not every dog carries their feelings in their mouth. Some carry them in their breathing. Number 8. The sigh that fills the room. After the storm passes, your dog retreats to their bed, lies down, and releases a sigh so long and heavy it seems to come from somewhere deep in their chest. That exhale is neurologically significant. A deep, slow breath out stimulates the vagus nerve, the pathway governing the body's shift from high alert back to calm. And in dogs, just as in humans, it is one of the fastest ways the nervous system recovers. Stanford researchers found that sighing produces measurable drops in cardiovascular arousal within seconds. Your dog is not being dramatic. Their body is completing something it genuinely needs to complete, and the fact that they do it near you, in your sight, is its own kind of message. They want you to know the storm is over on their end. Now here's the one that gets misread the most badly, and costs both of you the most when it does. Number 7. The yawn that looks like rudeness. You are mid-scolding, and your dog opens their mouth and releases the most enormous, jaw-cracking yawn you have ever seen. Your immediate reaction is outrage. Are they bored? Ethologist Turid Rugas, who spent decades mapping canine communication, identified yawning as a calming signal, a hardwired behavior dogs use to de-escalate social tension in themselves and in whoever they are communicating with. Your dog wants to stay close to you, but right now you are frightening them, and that contradiction generates pressure their body has to release. It comes out as a yawn. The deep inhalation simultaneously cools the brain and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, pulling their stress response back from the edge. What looks like defiance is your dog doing everything physiologically possible to keep things from getting worse. Their white flag deserves a ceasefire. And while yawning is the body's loudest calming tool, the next signal is its most heartbreaking because it is almost invisible. Number 6. The quiet whine they almost hide. It is not the loud, insistent whine that comes when they want dinner. This one is softer, almost private, a small, trembling sound that surfaces when they approach you slowly after a disagreement, head low, eyes just slightly averted. Research into canine vocal acoustics found that appeasement whines carry multiple layered frequencies, some partially above the range humans can fully perceive. What this quiet whine communicates is emotional exposure of the most honest kind. Your dog is telling you that the rift between you is genuinely painful to them and that they are willing to make themselves vulnerable to close it. There is nothing rehearsed about that sound. It is just need, offered softly. And then, when even that soft sound does not bridge the gap, they try something else entirely. They simply stay. Number 5, the stillness just inside the door. If, after a difficult moment, your dog appears at the edge of the room and stays there, watching you quietly, asking for nothing, this reads as sulking, but it is almost funny when you understand what is actually happening. Researchers at the University of Veterinary Medicine in Vienna discovered that dogs display a secure base effect identical to the one seen in human infants, using their attachment figure as an emotional anchor that regulates their whole nervous system. Your dog staying near you, even without touching you, is them maintaining that anchor while respecting the space your body language is asking for. They are holding two things at once, their need for you and their awareness of yours. That quiet presence is not distant. It is the most considerate kind of closeness. Staying is one thing, but some dogs cannot bear the distance at all, and so they find a way to fill it without forcing anything. Number 4, the sudden self-grooming. Your voice sharpens, and your dog drops their head and starts licking their own paw with unusual intensity, as if it has become the most important thing in the room. It looks like avoidance, and technically it is, but not the way you think. Displacement behaviors emerge when an animal is caught between two competing drives: the urge to move away from stress and the urge to stay close to someone they love. The grooming gives the body somewhere to put that conflict, and it also triggers a release of endorphins and serotonin, meaning your dog is genuinely self-medicating through the emotional weight of the moment, and they are doing all of it right there in front of you, because even in their discomfort, leaving is the one option they refuse to take. Self-grooming keeps the body busy, but eventually the body stops moving and something far quieter takes over. Number 3. The nose against your hand. You are sitting with your thoughts, and your dog crosses the space between you and presses their nose against the back of your hand. Just once, soft as anything, then they wait. A 2015 study in Science found that this kind of contact triggers a mutual release of oxytocin in both species simultaneously, the same bonding hormone that flows between a mother and her newborn child. The researchers called it a hijacking of the human attachment system, a pathway dogs have quietly learned to access over thousands of years. Your dog knows you might pull away, they nudge you anyway. That combination of hope and vulnerability, offered through a single cold nose, is one of the most quietly extraordinary things one creature can offer another. And if even that small gesture does not reach you, they will try the one that uses no gesture at all. Just weight, and warmth, and presence. Number 2, the weight of the lean. Sometimes the apology skips everything else and arrives as pure physical mass. Your dog walks over and presses their side or their whole head against you, solid and deliberate, like they are trying to hold you together through contact alone. Temple Grandin, whose research into deep pressure therapy changed how we understand sensory processing across species, documented that firm sustained pressure activates the vagus nerve and produces measurable drops in cortisol and heart rate. Your dog is applying that therapy to you and to themselves at once. Research from Queen's University Belfast confirmed that dogs detect human stress through biochemical signals in breath and sweat with nearly 94% accuracy. They already know you are still upset before they even cross the room. They feel it, and they press closer because of it. Everything on this list has been building toward the final signal, the one that gets misread the most dangerously and carries the highest emotional stakes of all. Number 1, the belly that begs for peace. You catch your dog doing something they should not, your voice drops into that low register, you step forward, and they roll instantly onto their back, stomach exposed, tail tucked tight, body completely still. Everything in you reads this as adorable, as a request for belly rubs. Alexandra Horowitz of Barnard College published research proving that what we call the guilty look has nothing to do with guilt. and everything to do with fear. When your dog exposes their stomach during a confrontation, they are not being cute. They are placing every vulnerable part of their body in front of you as an act of complete surrender. Veterinary behaviorists who work with bite cases have documented the same pattern repeatedly. The dog was on their back. The owner leaned in, and the dog bit, not out of aggression, but because they were already at the ceiling of what their nervous system could hold. The right response is to step back, lower yourself, soften your voice, and wait. Because honoring that surrender, meeting that level of vulnerability with gentleness instead of pressure, is not just the kind thing to do. For the animal who has been apologizing to you in every language they know, it is the only thing to do. Have you ever noticed any of these signs in your dog? Share in the comments below.